The poisoned spider monster is compromising. He raised the sharp stinger. See, I immediately issued a reminder to be careful in time. But the stinger is still in an instant. Through Zixao Lishu's chest. After her death, she was thrown away by the spider mother. It's dead. How dare you put your back? Naked in front of the enemy. Next is the strangeness of your angel. Just then, a cold light stood directly on the neck of the spider mother. Zixao Lishu said coldly, "As long as I can breathe, you're not going to touch a finger." The eyes of a black-hearted pharmacist instantly took me into memory. This look is definitely Ms. Zixao. I can't hold a grudge. MECHANISM head. Zixao Lishu risked exposure to fall for me. Stinger still not forget to protect me after being seriously wounded. This look made me confirm the person in front of me. It was my youngest disciple, Zixao Plumtree. In the next second, Zixao Lishu was evil by the spider demon. Lord Demon, you can't even protect your own race. Hey, what right do you have to threaten here now? It just so happens that I haven't tasted dragon meat yet. Then the spider monster heard a roar. Sit your head, watching his apprentice get hurt like this. My eyes are red. Furious. Spider monster, release the dying Zixao Plumtree. Then he looked at me with a sigh on his face. Just kill him now. What can you do? A waste without any intelligence dares to speak nonsense. Now I'm about to crack, but I can only watch. Why? At this time, you can't protect yourself the most. Zixao Lishu crawled forward trembling. The spider monster is right. I'm just a useless piece of trash now. I can't even break free from the spider silk on my body. Next second, Zixao Lishu actually threw the long sword in front of me. The spider monster sees this. He grabbed Uncle Lee's hair, pressed to the ground. Then I heard him shout weakly for my blood. I just remembered at this moment. Dragon blood can suppress the functions of any race. Now the sword stained with dragon blood is the last chance. Almost forgot. This world is not just about magic. I leaned back sharply, cut the spider silk that was bound to the body. No matter how weak this body is. I am the queen of swordsmanship, masters. Experience doesn't fade away. Spider monster looking at me. Just sneer. He doesn't think I can change with this crap. I'm a fan. The family can lose everything. But the only thing that hurts me is never allowed. The next second, I clenched the hilt of my sword and rushed up. As long as you have faith in your heart, even if I'm weak, I can easily defeat you. A cold sword light passed through the spider mother's fire tube. Blood gushed out. Spider mother may not believe it until she dies. I actually took her letter. From the moment he didn't look at me. This ending may already be doomed. And I went up, gently caressing the face I haven't seen in a long time. It's really my youngest disciple, Uncle Lai. At this moment, the spider swarm that lost its backbone suddenly surged up. I maneuver my longsword to make a sound of breaking through the air. The monster under the cricket still dares to approach. A pestle further ahead will wipe out the whole clan. The spider swarm was frightened and fled in an instant. I hold the fainted Zixao plum tree, looking for an exit in a deep cave. My youngest disciple, how many secrets are you hiding? Like a gentle and lovely little green-haired loli, she is a veritable firefly queen and the most scheming pervert of the six. But in order to save seriously injured plum tree, I had to bite the bullet and head towards Wendy's realm. After leaving the cave, night has come. The penetrating wound in Zizao Lishu's abdomen has stopped the bleeding, but the breath is still getting weaker and weaker. I caressed this tender face. How about this? He is just a little dragon girl who has just grown up. I hurt myself so badly to save my teacher. Fortunately, this broken place has a lot of herbs. Crying stops the bleeding. Find a place to treat it tomorrow. Just then, Li Shu in his arms suddenly whispered. Then it came towards me. Mouth in a daze, nagging whether it is so cold. I was paying attention step by step and was pushed to the ground by him. It's cold at this time. Is it an infection in the wound? I'm afraid to touch his wounds. I can only let him do it for now. Finally, Zizhao Shu slowly regained consciousness. I suddenly remembered when I was in the secret realm, constantly hinting at one's identity, and he seemed to have shouted a few words in a daze just now. The master shouldn't be completely worn out now, right? I looked at Zixao Lishu's anxious and nervous appearance. Plus his time. I'm always trying to hide myself. I'm afraid this kid will be exposed suddenly. Overconsciousness is hurting itself. I can only pretend to know nothing. Pushed the prince and laughed, saying that you are a medicine seller. Don't be so close to me when you wake up. We still have a lot of work to do. See, I've been sorting out herbs. Keep writing about your identity. Sub-school Li Shu could only bite the bullet and ask, don't you recognize me? I dipped in the freshly mashed liquid, gently applied to the wound of Zixao plum tree. Aren't you the unscrupulous pharmacist who lied to me? But you looked a lot like my apprentice. I almost got the wrong person. Speaking of which, if it weren't for my disciple, won't run away from home. Zixao Li Shu heard the words, ripples in my heart. Maybe that disciple didn't leave because of you. If you were the apprentice you raised with your own hands, I can definitely understand the difficulty of the master. Besides, maybe you, the master. It's his only relative, right? A grown disciple. Silently. Maybe it's because of him. Found something that had to be done. I stared at this sensible person in front of me, distressed girl, and he sighed. Subsequently, hand over the beef tenderloin candy that was secretly made just now. My stupid guy, favorite to eat candy made from this plant. I see you look so much like my apprentice. You should like it too. If you eat it well, it won't hurt. Look at me uncharacteristically. Zixao. Li Shu has assumed that I have discovered his identity. I just didn't say anything to expose it. It's like when I was a child with my senior sister, doing bad things behind his back. He obviously knows everything, but it never broke. Just silently picking up the pieces. I gently caressed Zixao Li Shu's reddened cheek. I don't want to be exposed, but hinted at my own voice. Sure enough, it's still the same as when I was a child. You said you were going to help me restore my spell, right? I'm counting on you next. Suddenly, a pain broke the beauty. Zixao Li Shu clutched his lower abdomen. Show pain. I only found out with my lower body. The herb still couldn't contain such a big sore. Zixao Li Shu needs to be treated now. I saw the girl looking at me trembling. Say, go to Wendy's. The closest to the secret realm is his forest. Now both Nazi and Ninjarin want to catch me. It's the only place that's safe. Little do they know that Wende on the other side, I have already received a communication from Xinye Lan. Let him pay attention. Zixao Li Shu carried a natural beauty bone with him. The little witch Wendy heard the words, but revealed an elusive fantasy. Only I know. This disciple is a truly dreadful grinder. Suspicious Firefly Empress Wendy. It turned out to be an arrogant cream bubble little loli. I obviously don't want to face this stubborn little mouth. But in order to save the injured plum tree, this is the only way. Really, although the name of the supreme of the Kingling clan? But it's like an uncontrollable perverted obsession. You've been comforting me. But these memories always make me feel faintly uneasy. Just then, a gentle voice entered the slab. Sister, you are finally here. After all, Wendy is still walking in my direction. Cast an indescribable look. What the hell is going on with this kid? Shouldn't you find me? I saw Wendy holding Zixao Li Shu's little hand. What's up? Why did you accidentally hurt like this? The wound is not infected, is it? Zixao Li Shu exchanged pleasantries for a while. Just remembered to introduce identity. This is a friend I just met. Unexpectedly, the words are not finished yet. A few fairy maids will come and bind you. Don't worry. I have arranged the best treatment plan for you. As for your little book, I'll take good care of it for you too. Give up. Zixao Li Shu was stunned by Zhongjin Ling Tai. Leave me alone in the wind. I asked him with a puzzled look. Is this process a little too late? I always feel something is wrong. Wendy chuckled and looked at me. What do you know, you little brat? This is sisterly love. The next second, I was led and ran by Wendy. I saw him with a wrong look. Meditate up and down. Come with me, kid. Next, this king will personally arrange your accommodation. This hateful look once made me wonder if it was not. It has been discovered by him. Just then, a moving carriage galloped past me. According to what I know about sprite diagrams, this arrangement should be for marriage. Thinking of this, I asked about Wendy. Her Royal Highness, is there an elf royal family going to hold a wedding? Wangxi replied hesitantly. It should be. I'm sighing in my heart. He actually found out. Mysterious elves get married through a magical contract. As long as you make a vow under the tree, the souls of the two will be bound together by magic. Even if the two had a deep hatred before, later it will also be promoted by the magic contract. Crazy crush on each other. And the birth of the elves was also born from the divine tree. So it makes sense to celebrate marriage together. Wendy took me into a bedroom with a smirk on her face. Then he asked with a leg across the doorway. I'm curious. What is the relationship between you and my little junior sister? Could it be a couple? I almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. Your Highness, you are really joking. As you can see, I was just a little girl. I saw Wendy take out a powerful letter. Read it slowly. But I have been receiving news from the eldest senior sister and the second senior sister. Tell me to keep an eye out. The little girl next to Zi Xiaolu. Since you are not an important person, Zi Xiao ritual, then I can hand you over without any worries. The news was like a bolt from the blue. The next second, I don't care about my dignity. Just run away. Her Majesty, the Queen, please also take in a lot of adults. I hope to be protected by you here. Wendy heard the words, staring at me with a lofty expression. You little devil, what's the use of keeping it? It has to show some value. I don't keep idle people here. Speaking of which, Wendy slowly poured herself down. Today, to welcome you both. My feet have been stuck in high heels all day. Come on, let me see how you can help me. I watched the development of the world with a confused face. I saw Wendy kick up mercilessly. What a little fish. Let this queen feel it well. The proud cream puff kid has finally been punished.